Hi you guys, this is Misty with Cancerian Chronicles. Welcome back. We are going to go ahead and jump into the energy for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising, North Node. Really, if you have Cancer anywhere in your chart, the messages may in fact resonate. And we're actually going to look at potential blind spots for the next 30 days to just kind of be on the lookout for. So let's see what we have. We're going to start off with love. So we're going to see what the potential blind spot is when it comes to love. So whatever your situation is, let's say you're in a relationship and you want to know what the blind spot is, or even if you're single and you're looking, or whatever, if you're interested in love and relationships at all, this is going to be a potential blind spot for the next 30 days for you to look out for. I don't know about this. This is really shaky, you guys, but sorry about that. So we are using the blind spot oracle cards, and we have number 37. So you can take a look there, and then I'm going to go ahead and give a quick look-see to see what that blind spot is. Number 37. Okay, so it says wishing and willing harm. That's interesting. It says if you've drawn this sigil or this card, basically, you're most likely totally unaware that you are wishing harm on others and or directly or indirectly trying to punish them. It is natural when we've been hurt to want to hurt others. What we're actually doing when we wish harm on someone is attempting to force them into a state of empathy. Even if it seems as though we're trying to push them away, we are actually trying to bring them closer. So when it comes to love and relationships, Cancer, make sure that you're kind of mindful. I'm really getting the sense of like it's more about not that you're wishing or willing harm per se on another person, but you are trying to punish them. And it feels a little bit like perhaps a little bit of manipulation, right? I heard something about like getting someone to bend to your will, right? So it's about, wanting to have some sense of control when it comes to love and relationships. And you just want to be mindful that just because people aren't doing things the way that you want them to, or if they're not doing what you want or responding the way that you want, just, kind of be careful when it comes to trying to punish them for their perceived misdeeds, right? Because we all have a right to our own way of thinking, or whatever. Okay. Is there anything else? Okay, I'm getting the sense of going, I'm gonna skip down because there's a lot to this, but it's this one here, but I'm getting guided to move down. So we have it says you must become aware of your resentment. Resentment is a state of being in pain as a result of perceiving that you have been treated wrongly, unfairly, and unjustly. One of the main challenges as far as resentment is concerned is that it immediately converts itself into distrust. When you feel like you've been treated unfairly, unjustly, and wrongly by someone, you have learned that you cannot rely on that person to care for your best interests, and so you don't trust them. This bitter distrust is usually what people are feeling in someone when they say that person can't let go of resentment. Wow. I feel like that's just basically what we were already talking about, right? So just not taking it the wrong way just because someone doesn't believe or feel or the way that we do, or do what it is that we want them to do. Okay. I'm getting what I heard was like, especially if you're not having conversations. So if you have not had very direct conversations and communication with someone, it's kind of like you can't expect people to read your mind or just know what it is that you want and just conform. I'm hearing like by way of osmosis or something like that. Like if you feel like you're being wronged or mistreated, have you actually had a conversation with that person first and foremost? Okay. There's something about someone like feeling weak or thinking that something makes them look like they're weak. I don't know if, I mean, there's a sense of like miscommunication is really what I'm getting. Being mindful of just miscommunication or lack thereof, lack of communication. Yeah. It's something about, I'm hearing, Christina Aguilera, let's get dirty. So this is about like, make sure that you're playing fair. Like, make sure that you're, like sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But I feel like these are instances or situations where, I don't know if someone is like bringing in past hurt, past trauma, into situations, and feeling like you need to fight fire with fire. But like, I really feel like another person doesn't even know, like, it's like they don't even know what your issue is because you haven't explained it to them. Okay, what else? Okay. It says when we feel resentment, it is an indication that an aspect of us feels like a victim. That aspect needs to be acknowledged and cared for and validated. But you will find that once you genuinely care for the part of you that feels like a victim, looking for any way that you are responsible in the situation will have an interesting side effect. You will no longer feel powerless in relation to the other person. I'm starting to feel like a little bit sad. The word melancholy is what comes to mind. So going back to, I mean, it just feels like, someone, it's a perception, like someone's perception or perspective of current or new situations with new people even. But it's like with an old story or like with past hurt and past trauma. Someone needs to be mindful of that. I'm hearing something about like before you go into like a tizzy, there is like, ask yourself, is this something that we've actually discussed? Is there something about this that we've actually discussed? Because there's a difference between someone just not caring about your feelings or how they treat you or something like that versus like someone willfully and spitefully even doing something like that versus someone just not knowing. And you can't fault people for not knowing. And, it might seem a little bit harsh, but the fault would be, if the other person doesn't know, the fault would be yours because you did not communicate something to them. And really, I don't even like using the word fault because it feels like, like sometimes you don't even know what you need to discuss until you're in that moment. So it's kind of like take that just as a teaching and learning opportunity if you get into like some rough patches when it comes to like love and relationships. Okay, what else? Yeah, I feel like that's it with that one. And you guys, it doesn't matter if you are single or if you're, like if you're single and dating, or if you're actually in a, situationship, a long-term, committed relationship. Like there's something about that that's going to apply, that it's like, take note and just kind of be mindful of that for the next 30 days. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move into, let's look at the blind spot. when it comes to money. Let's look at money. Potential blind spot for the next 30 days as it relates to money, money, money. Yeah. Okay. So we have 33. We have the card 33 there. We have shame. So there's something about shame when it comes to money, like this being a potential blind spot. So I'm going to preface this by saying, like, when it comes to your money, this blind spot could be something to do with, like, when it comes to, like, if you have a business, if you work a 9 to 5, this could be like something to do with investments, whatever, like you put it wherever it goes, you know, for your situation, if it fits your situation, right? All right. So this is shame. It says if you've drawn this sigil or this card, you're not seeing or admitting to your shame. You need to attend to your shame. Shame is one of the most misunderstood aspects of social behavior. The reason for this is that most people think that shame is solely a mental and emotional response of self-diminishing experiences, beliefs, and thoughts. The truth is, shame is much more primal than that, and it's more debilitating. And I'm kind of remembering, I believe that we've actually had this card before when we've done like a blind spot reading as it relates to something to do with money. So this is something that, we could have just like new people in the collective, or this could be something that has not quite been resolved. This is still an unresolved issue or an unresolved matter when it comes to you and your finances. There's some type of shame with shame when it comes to money. If I recall correctly, that reading, it was more about like maybe someone was raised to believe that money is the root of all evil, or it's like one of those type of beliefs, when in fact the actual saying is the love of money is the root of all evil. So money is not good or bad, right? It just is. Yeah. Okay. I feel really, is that sadness? It's right here. There, I don't know. Like, and I feel like there's something like in my throat, like with this throat chakra. I don't know if someone has an issue with speaking up when it comes to money matters. Maybe someone has an issue with like speaking up when it comes to like their needs, like if they have like, if they're lacking when it comes to money or finances or something. Or for someone it might be something to do with like speaking up. Oh, this is getting really thick. It's weird, but speaking up when it comes to demanding your worth, like whatever this is that like your worth, right? So for some of you guys, this could have something to do with like someone, like if it has to do with investments, like not speaking up, and I don't know, it's kind of like taking a risk with something. If this has to do with work, like you're allowing yourself to be devalued, or like you're undervalued and you're not speaking up for your like someone needs to be asking for a promotion or a raise, and this is really hurting you guys, but someone is not speaking up. Or if someone has a business, there's someone that might be like an influencer or something like that, and you're not demanding, like I don't know if people are trying to I'm hearing something about exposure, right? So if anyone's ever, heard of that, like some people try to say, oh, well, do this for me, and like it's great exposure for you, and that's code for like, I don't want to pay you, I don't really value you, so I'm gonna see. I still want you to do it for the free, right? But I'm gonna see if I can manipulate and trick you into doing it for free. Because if you don't know your worth and your value, I'm hearing got him, got him. Yeah, I almost feel like there's someone that pounces. I was gonna say bounces, but it's like pounces from person to person, influencer to influencer, perhaps. And they look for, it's kind of like a predator and prey, like someone is looking for people that don't know their worth and value, or people that feel like so desperate that they're willing to do things for free, or like settle for less or something like that. Yeah. I'm reminded of like, and I've spoken about it before, like I used to be a principal, and like, your boss or your supervisor will talk about how, like this, like there's some type of opportunity that is great for you when it comes to like leadership positions. Like you're not getting any extra money, but like this makes you look like a leader, so perhaps maybe one day if there's a position, I might consider thinking about you, right? But I mean, it still means the same thing. Like it still means you're not being paid your worth. And so all of that to say, like, this has something to do with people feeling some type of shame when it comes to speaking up for, and I'm going back to demanding their worth. There's something to do with that. Be mindful of that. I'm hearing something about my mind's playing tricks on me. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So if anyone remembers that song, so it could be like, it might have something to do with like someone has like some negative thoughts or negative thinking. Someone is talking down on themselves, perhaps. I don't know why you would do that, but please stop. Yeah. I mean, tell it, like if you're hearing like, just negative thoughts, nagging thoughts, just tell the thoughts to shut it. Like, whatever. Nobody knows. Where nobody knows it but me. Yeah. Don't allow those thoughts to fester and to continue, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's see what else. When it comes to shame, this has to do with money. Okay, it says there are only two basic energetic movements within this universe: to push something away and to bring something closer. When we see certain things, such as something we perceive as cute, it triggers an instinctual reaction to bring it closer. But when we see images of threatening things, it triggers an instinctual reaction to push something away. Okay. Fear is an instinctual reaction to push things away. Love is an instinctual reaction to pull something closer. I'm going back to like someone being taught about money being like the root of all evil, and even something about, learning to be humble. And someone has some type of fear of looking like they have a big, I'm hearing Beyonce, big ego, right? Someone having a fear that they look like they have a really big ego, or that they're, conceited or something like that. Or someone fears that they look like they are money hungry, or they have a lust for money. Yeah, there's something to do with that. Someone just needs to continue to work on whatever this is. Okay. Okay, it says, ask yourself, what do I feel ashamed of? What about this makes me feel like a bad person or defective or not good enough or wrong? You need to directly address and lovingly resolve whatever comes out of that questioning. Bring the parts of yourself that are ashamed, that you are ashamed of, closer to you and include them as a part of you rather than pushing them away. If you've drawn this one, it will benefit you to spend some time accepting the energy of, it says Sigil 76, and coming to understand its message as well. So let me look at 76 because I'm nosy, but kind of curious. Deflection. Some of you guys may have, like, if this has been something that you've heard before about this, feeling shame when it comes to money. Some of you guys, it might be unresolved because you are pretending like you don't really have, like, that it doesn't apply to you, and you deflect, like you try to I don't know, like change the subject, change the topic. I don't know, there's something about that, like you're deflecting from the root cause of this issue as it relates to your shame. Like some of you guys might be making excuses for the person or the institution that has ingrained or programmed this shame into you as it relates to money and finances. Okay. Okay, so that's it with that one. And the last one that we're going to do is work. So this is potential blind spots for the next 30 days as it relates to your work. And so it doesn't matter what type of work you do. This can be if you work a 9-to-5, if you have your own business, what have you. Just be mindful on the lookout for this potential blind spot. With your, something about like maybe with your decision making or how you're reacting or responding. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, we have two. Do I take both of these? Okay. So we're going to look at both of these. 2222 was on that timer. We have 17 and we have number 58. So we're going to start off with number 17 and see what that is. So these are potential blind spots when it comes to work. Again, whether you work a 9-to-5 or whether you are an entrepreneur, you have your own business, whatever that could be. And I'm being guided to say, and whether you're unemployed but you're looking for work. Okay. So number 17 is what we're starting off with, and this one is blame. And it says if you've drawn this sigil or this card, you're blaming others and blaming circumstances instead of clearly seeing what you were thinking, saying, and doing to create the situation at hand, right? Look at yourself honestly. Do you have a reason or excuse about why something went wrong that absolves you from guilt, responsibility, or fault? It is understandable why you would choose this perspective or choose to only see someone else's fault in a situation. Seeing your own fault makes you feel terrible about yourself and desperate because it means you might have to be able to do something different that would have potentially prevented the negative situation at hand. Says if you refuse to see your responsibility and even fault in this situation, you will not see what you could have done differently. This guarantees that you cannot make actual remedies to the situation, and you are therefore likely to end up in exactly the same situation over and over until you see where you went wrong and what you need to do differently. So I'm feeling really guided to that, like how it's going to happen over and over and over again, right? If you don't make changes or if you're not open to like seeing your own fault or responsibility in whatever this is for you, whatever. And so I'm guided to that because it feels like there might be like a consistent pattern that you might be dealing with So if this is a pattern of, let's say you work, a 9 to 5, this is a repeated pattern of having issues with like colleagues, right? Or miscommunication with your boss, or missing deadlines, right? I mean, I don't know. If you have your own business or something like that, and you're not getting consistent clients, or you're an influencer and you are seeing I don't know, like you're having something going on where it's like you're not having the viewers or what engagement that you are wanting to have. There's something to do with like a repeated pattern, and you needing to actually take an honest assessment of like where you are, like your responsibility when it comes to that. If you lost a job, or you've been unemployed and you are repeatedly like not getting like you're getting interviews, a lot. I don't know why, but like this is like you're getting a lot of interviews, but you're not getting hired. There's something that you need to evaluate, or reevaluate when it comes to your interview, because obviously it's kind of like there's like it's like your application, check, you're all good. Your resume, check, you're all good. They're obviously people are seeing some really good qualities in you, and if you have a lot of people that are seeing those good qualities in you, and they're asking you to come in for interviews, but then they're not hiring you, and this is like a repeated thing or consistent, with a variety of jobs or businesses or something like that. There's something to do with like, do you need to work on your interviewing skills, right? Like, is it you in the interview? Are you not good at like, public speaking, or like, do you get nervous? Like, is there something that you need to practice? There's something to do with that, rather than just saying like, oh, people are just wasting my time calling me for interviews and they know that they're not going to hire me. I feel like people are genuinely, if this is for you, people are genuinely interested in you. But there's some type of disconnect, right? For some reason. For some of you guys, I don't know why, but I was hearing something about dressing for success, and I'm not gonna lie, right? Like, it, right or wrong, when I was hiring people, I did look at how they dressed. I did. So I don't know if like, someone is kind of like in this, like, you're gonna accept me as I am, like, okay, that's all cute and everything, if you don't really want the job. But the fact of the matter is, whether it's right or wrong, whether you agree with it or or don't, you will be judged based off of your appearance. And this is me like totally out of spiritual mode, right? You will be judged based off of your appearance, and that's just fact. And you have to decide like what's more important to you. Okay, I don't know who that's for. Let's see what else with the blame. I'm hearing the blame game. It feels like someone has a repeated pattern, like with whatever this is with work, and consistently like blaming others, because you're just not wanting to see the role that you play in it. Yeah, and we're all guilty of that, right? Whether we do that when it comes to work or relationships or, friendships or whatever. Okay. My throat is hurting, but it's more like, because I've been talking a lot. And I mean, I have, but I haven't. Someone overshares. Someone talks too much. Like this is for someone, like if you can't, like you just can't quite put your finger on what it is. It's someone is an overshare. You share too much. You're telling too much of your personal business, or you're telling too much of things that really are irrelevant, or like I'm hearing too soon. Like you might be sharing things a little bit too quickly, right? With clients, or with your colleagues, or your boss or potential boss or something like that. Okay, too soon? Yeah, it's too soon. Let's see if there's anything else with the blame. No. So the next one is the 58. So let's see what that one is about. Blinding pessimism. I don't know if some of you guys are going to have to be careful. Like, I don't know if someone has a pattern of when it comes to work. Number one, I'm going to say, and I haven't even read what it says with the blinding pessimism, but it's like someone that consistently has a habit of, like, in an interview, like they're listening for how they're listening for your for your attitude, for the way that you think. They want to know if you are, and again, so I'm being brought back to kind of like supervisor mode, and I'll tell you something that I would look for and I would listen for. Yeah, I want to know if you are going to add to a positive climate and culture, or if you're going to, I'm hearing the word vulture, right? And I didn't really think of it that way, but are you going to peck away at the climate and culture? Are you going to make it a less enjoyable place to work at? I'm being reminded of an instance where I had like a front. She wasn't my secretary, but she did work at the front, and she had a habit of, like, she would post up how many days until school was over, and she didn't and it was something that she had always done, and she didn't understand why I told her she was not allowed to do that. Like, you can have it on your own, right? You can have your own little thing, but not for you to show to the students and to the parents, because that was sending off, like, you might think